Irontrader, and this is the last call of the day here. So we're going to take a look here at Bitcoin, gold, silver, crude oil, natural gas. And we're going to take a look here at the old indexes, the Dow, the S&P, and the Nasdaq. At the end of the video, the support and resistance levels are posted for crude and natural gas. This video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy any stock by the ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, here we have Bitcoin. Now, really good day trading here, all the way on up here. I'm along the Bticoin. That's been working out very, very nicely, up about almost 8% there today on that. So what we're watching here, we had this pattern I've been pointing out to you here. So we had the left shoulder, a head, and then the right shoulder is building. And then this rallied up hard. Now, I put it in a little bit lower low, but you can see it as candle just engulfed the previous couple of days here. And we made a high here all the way up of 110,455 level. Now, what we're watching here is going to be right up here at this candle here is at 110,890. So you just look at that price channel. That's what we have to get above, okay? Now, again, if we can do that, then we're going to come right here to the top. You're looking at 112.60 and then 112.345. That is going to be your all-time high and your breakout. Now, we close above that. I'm looking at 113, and then you're going to go right to the 115.16 area. Now, they put some price targets on here. They said about the third quarter, they're looking at 135 area, which is very possible it can do it. But remember, just take one level at a time. That's how you make 20. That's how you make money. Don't just say, okay, it's going to 135, it's going to 200. Yeah, it may very well be, but it's going to go to 115 first, okay? And then we got to see what happens with that. Then it works your way up to 120. It doesn't instantly go to 135 kind of a situation, okay? So right now, what we're really watching is the price channel at 110,890, and we've got to see what the reaction is. Now, tomorrow, does it blow through there, and we attack this 112 level here, or does it go sideways, or does it double, kind of like a double top situation, and come right back down again? Okay, so on the downside, what you're watching, obviously, is the top of this candle right here, 109,565 level. We'll come over here to the top of there. You're looking at 108,580. We'll look to the top of this candle here at 108,105. And then we're looking for that 8-day, 107,325. And then we have your 106,641. That is going to be your key support levels, okay? Then we lose that. We're going to come out to the bottom of this candle right here. You're looking at 105,550 level. Then we can come down here to the bottom here. You're looking at 103,850. But realistically, what you're looking for is this right here, is this 103,667 level. Okay, that's what we're really looking at. But right now, this inverse head and shoulders pattern looks to be playing out here. So let's just see how it goes here. But again, we can always have this like we had this big green candle going on up here off that bottoming tail, and then we had a red candle here. So let's just see how this all shakes out here before I get too excited. Okay, now RSI sitting at 58, plenty of room to run. Green is still below your red, but that can move up here, and I think we can make the baby take this bad boy higher. It's all going to depend on right here. Okay, it's all going to depend on right here, this key level at that 110,890. Okay, so we've got to see if it's going to close back above that and then head for that, or what reaction is going to be once it gets there. Now, here on a weekly chart, I got one more day to go. Remember, Friday is a holiday. Tomorrow's a shortened day. It's only open till 1. I'll be here all day. And then, so we got, it has to close the back above this 106,224 here for the week, and that should be tomorrow, and that should be really good, okay? Now, you can see we had this downtrend. See, we have a high, lower high, lower high, and I can see that downtrend is broken, and so now we're going to be heading up possibly, okay? But right now, remember, we're right into the thick of this, all this resistance level here, so just always remember that that's where we are right now, okay? So you have to close above this level here to get to that next level. And you have to close above that level to get to 113 and get one to the 115, 116 level, okay? So just always remember that one level at a time. That's how you trade. Okay, let's take a look here now at gold and silver. Okay, here we have gold, here we have silver. Now, it's not really doing a whole lot. We're pretty much right where we are. Now, we're stuck basically pretty much like we were this morning here, okay? So, if you look at the downside here, you're holding at 33.40. That's your 8-day, and we're holding at 33.33. That is your 50-day, okay? That's going to be very, very key support. We lose that, you just come to the top of this candle here. This is your next support level. It's 33.21, and we look to the bottom of that candle right there at 33.13 level. And then we come down to the bottom here. You're looking at 33.08. And then we'll come down here to test this level at 32.66, and then you retest at 32.50, possibly all the way down to the 100-day at 31.82. Now, again, right now it's holding this key level here, this 8 in that 50-day, which is always very good. The problem is now we have to get through that 21-day, okay? So 33.67. If we can get above that, then we just follow the candles right on up here. 33.85 level. We'll come up here at 34.13, 34.19, 34.27, and you work your way up here to that 34.78 level. Then we have to see what the reaction is once it gets there, okay? Does it blast through and go for that 35.09, or does it just double top? Now, if it double top kind of a situation, then you can take a shorty all the way on down here. For me, how I'm going to trade this is it needs to get and close above this 33.67. Once it does, then I'll jump into GLD, and I'll be looking for that 34.76 level here. Now, remember, next week you've got all the tariffs coming in on the July 9th. So we don't know what the reaction actually going to be. He said, T-Man said he's not going to extend those. You either negotiate before, otherwise there are going to be huge tariffs coming upon. So we got to see how that all going to shake out, okay? So I always look at the gold and the silver. It's almost like an uncertainty kind of a situation. You know, if there's trouble in the world like this, gold will rally, silver will rally kind of a situation, okay? Now, here we have the old silver. Okay, we're holding this here, that 21-day, very, very nicely. And we made this high up today of 36.75. Yesterday's high, we had 36.87. So we just didn't get up to that level. But this is the level we're looking for here, is this 36.97. And then right up here at that 37.10. And then you retest at 37.40. You crack that and close above it. Then you go 38 and possible 40. However, if it goes up at this area here, 37.40, and you can't get through, well, then that could be a nice shorty all the way back down here to this 8-day and that 21-day, okay? So this is going to be your key support here, 36.31, 36.22. That's going to be very, very key support. We lose that, we'll come to the bottom here, 35.95, we'll come down here, 35.58, we'll come down to the bottom here, 35.19, and then we have 34.94, and then we were looking for that 50-day, possibly the 100-day at 33.66 level, okay? But right now we have bottom left, upper right, chart looking good. We're just building a basically sideways action with an uptrending chart. Not looking too bad at all. Now, on silver here, okay, I'm not really much of a gold or silver trader, but again, if I can see it, I took a little action here in the SLV here today. I'm going to see how it shakes out here by the end of the day, and maybe even at 6 o'clock tonight here. But I'm kind of really looking for that retest of 37.40. If not, I'll just dump it out and, you know, we'll move on. That's how that goes. Okay, let's take a look here at crude oil and natural gas. All right, here we have crude oil and natty gas. Okay, now, we had this bear flag situation, but it looks like that's going to be pretty much negated now, okay? See, usually when this will rip right on up here, see how they're leveling up very, very nicely, and then usually what you do is you get a big sell down. Now, again, the numbers came out there today, and boy, you had a big build over 3.4 million barrels on crude oil. You had a build in gasoline. You had a draw on distillates, a little draw on Cushing there. But, you know, you had some builds going on here. But then you're going into this 4th of July holiday, so you always got to remember that. Now, it looks like the war is kind of settled out there, kind of a peace agreement for the next 60 days. So I don't see anything there. But we got to look for it, kind of a catalyst. But see, that's why I like trading crude oil, because you just never know, okay? So this is why you trade the charts, okay? So we had this bear flag situation going, and then you can see here today, we got back above that 100 SMA here and back above the 8-day, and then I figured, okay, I'm going to take me along in UCO, at least until that 21-day, okay? And then I'm going to see where it all shakes out here. So UCO here was actually a really, really good trade today. It got as low as 22.57 and as high as 23.68 out of there, okay? So I got 70 cents out of it, out of crude there today. And that was actually a good trade. Now what I'm looking for here is see what's going to happen here after 6 p.m. On this 21-day. I'm going to trade against today's candle, okay? Now, if we can get and close above that 67.24, then your next level is going to be 67.83, and then we have the 200-day at 68.48. You crack above that, we're going to come right to the top of this candle here, 69.29. Then we look here, 69.38, the bottom of the candle, and then 69.56 level, and then we just take it right on up here. You can go all the way down to 71.33. We'll come up here, 72.32 level. But let's just see if we can get through that 21-day and that 200-day first, okay? So me, I'm just a little bit leery of this here because of the big builds that they're having going on here. And remember, the OPEC meeting is this weekend, and they're looking at putting more oil on the market. So we got to see how that all shakes out here. Now, on the downside, you really need to hold this 65.64 as your 8-day and your 100-day as 65.64. Okay, that's going to be key. If we lose that, look today's low, 65.23, then we look at 64 flat, and then we're looking for that 63.70 level. Now, we lose that 50-day, it'll be a nice shorty all the way down to the bottom of this candle here, right down at that 59.74 level. So always be prepared on what you can do. Now, again, we start getting above this, say after 6 o'clock, we start getting above that 21-day. Well, I'll jump right back into that long again and take it up to that 200-day, okay? And then we'll just see how that all plays out. Now, we had this a negative divergence going here. I can see it sold off nicely. But now we're starting to roll back up here, sitting at 53. Your green is still below your red, but if we can get a little curl, this might be able to go higher here going into this holiday weekend. Okay, here we have natural gas. Okay. Now, natural gas here, you can still see is we're still in an uptrending channel. Okay, see, low, higher, low, higher, low, higher, low situation. Now, yesterday we had that bottoming tail, but it held a 200-day. Today, we're going right basically between that 200-day and that 50-day, okay, which is basically right there, okay? So we got a little ping pong action, okay? 200-day on downside, 339, and we have 350 on the upside. So we got a little ping pong action going upside. Now, we got the 8-day sitting right there at 3.53. You get above that, you're going to go to that 21-day at 3.63, and then we have that 100-day sitting at roughly about 370, okay? We get above that, we're going to go right to this 376 level, and then retest that 384. But right now here, we just have this bottoming tail. So you got to take that, give that some respect, because we have a bottoming tail and a green candle, okay? So let's just see how this shakes out here at 6 o'clock after futures open to maybe run that bad boy up to that 21-day or maybe even higher back up to this 376 area here, okay? So right now, I didn't take any trade here in natural gas. UNG, the bottom was 15.31 and the high was 15.59. Risk reward just wasn't there for me, okay? You got a lot of resistance here. Until we can get above that 50-day, then I think we can get through that 8-day and head towards that 21-day. But right now, the risk reward just was not too good, okay? We're sitting here at 46. You got plenty of room to run to the upside. It's not overbought or oversold. Your green is below your red here, but right now we're just kind of sitting in limbo. We're looking for the old catalyst. Okay, let's take a look here now at the indexes. Okay, here we have the indexes moving up. Now, the Dow is down here about 20. Okay, S&P is up about 23, and the Nasdaq's up about 142. So we're pretty much sitting here right in this level right here. Okay, so this melt up continues here, but now you can see where your overbought condition here. Now we got here the negative divergence is gone, but now you got the overbought territory here, and the same way with here, we're back in that overbought condition here. So you got to be a little bit careful, not a little bit careful, be a lot careful, okay? So I don't to say I didn't warn you about these meltups, but for me, I'm just trading this market. NVIDIA, I got in there. That was a really, really good trade today on NVIDIA. TQQs, which is my favorite, that was a really good trade there today. BITX, that's one of my favorite for the Bticoin. That was a really good trade there today. So there was a lot of good stuff here going on, okay? The only one I think I missed there today was I probably could have taken a short in Tesla and then a long in Tesla, but I didn't. I missed that here. I was just doing it with the Bitcoin there today, and it was really worked out great anyway, okay? So you're not going to catch every trade. That's just how that goes, okay? So right now, we just have this melt up here. I'm just kind of waiting and being very, very patient. Now, this could melt up higher because we have a target all the way up here up that 45.73 level, okay? But, that's going to be very, very high, okay? So now we have this area here. Obviously, you can see here where we're breaking out the all new highs, and there's just you're either going to melt up or you're going to come right on back down again. Same way here with the NASDAQ. You're sitting here at all-time highs, but we got to see how that's all going to shake out. On the downside here, always watch that gap and that fill, okay? Very, very critical gap and fill. If this does sell off, see, we have this gap and fill situation here. But right now, this is a trader's market, okay? Trader's market, trader's market. This is not, I'm going to jump in all balls out long, and then this is going to go much, much higher. Just trade it, okay? That's what I say. If you miss something, okay, like I missed the Tesla trade today, big deal. I made it up in NVIDIA and in TQQ and the BITX, okay? But just trade it. Get the money in your pocket, especially before a long holiday weekend, because you have no idea what could possibly happen. But when I see these charts way up here, way up here, way up here, okay, they only last so long. Now, the melt up can continue, and it frustrates a lot of people. Well, I should say a lot of traders. it doesn't frustrate me because I've been used to it. I've been doing this for over 2 decades. So it's not really anything to me. What I just like to point out to people and traders here is just, be careful when it's up here, because all it takes is one little thing and this could come rocketing absolutely way on down when you see all these charts at the very, very high. See, now look when we're at the bottom here. See how nice this was? Okay, look where that was. Okay, see where that was? See where that was? See how all that oversold condition going on here? Same way with the MACD. That's your buying and going balls long. Okay, but up here, just be careful. I am just trading the market, putting the money in the pocket. Okay, that's what I got for you. I'll be back here tomorrow morning and we'll do it all over again. Thanks for watching.